A lot about how the Tuesday practices are very physical. You guys call it Bloody Tuesdays. I'm curious as how much more physical the Tuesday practices compared to like a practice tonight. Maybe not necessarily from your standpoint, because I know they can't hit you, but just how much more physical is a Tuesday compared to Wednesday?
Yeah, Tuesdays we usually do inside and more hitting, more good on good. So Wednesday's kind of a third down red zone day, so we kind of just go in shoulder pads, pretty much no pads in the bottom, and just kind of go through the plays on third downs in red zone.
What's standing out about Wisconsin's defense when you watch them on film?
You said what?
What's standing out about Wisconsin's defense when you watch them on film?
They have a great front seven, great DBs, and I think they have a great scheme. As we all know, they have the #1 defense statistically in the country. So we've just been preparing for them and just trying to get prepared as much as possible this week.
Justin, you guys seem to have had a lot of success this season with some of those 10, 12-yard outs and comeback routes on the sideline. Mm-hmm. What do you have to execute, and what do the receivers have to execute to make those throws successful?
It's just timing and just getting more and more reps. So just more and more as we do it, just kind of getting on the same page as them and just kind of timing that throw up and just really getting on the same page.
For you to throw from the opposite hash to the far sideline and make some of those throws, don't you need some arm strength on that thing to get it out there?
Yeah, you do, but I feel like I've been blessed with arm strength, so it's not really kind of a hard thing for me to do.
Because I think that it looks easy. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, do you feel like that's easy money throws sometimes? That like, depending what the coverage is, they might be giving you guys some of those, and you can just take it.
I mean, yeah, it's just practice and just doing that, just reps and reps and just endless amount of reps. So as we practice it in practice, you just get stronger and get more used to the throw, and you just go out there and execute it in the game.
Because the thing that always is, I'm sorry about this, but like it just. When you guys make things look easy, I know they're not that easy, right? Because if it was that easy to hit a 12-yard out for a first down that many times in a game, every team in the country would do it every game, and they don't. So I'm just always curious the amount of work that must go into making things look easy.
I think that's just the coaches knowing their players' strengths and just kind of knowing what plays to put in for that certain defense, and I think a lot of things go into that when the play calling and stuff like that.
Hey, Justin, if you look back to your high school days when you went to the Elite 11 camp, what do you remember about being on the same field with some of those guys like Trevor Lawrence? And, you know, I spoke to some of the guys that coached you there, and they just said it was a foregone conclusion that this was going to happen for you and that they could tell immediately at that camp. What do you remember about your performance that day, in those days? And could you feel like you see what I'm saying? Like, could you feel it?
I mean, those days, like looking back on it, I was definitely locked in. I was just trying to do my best out there to win the competition and just make every throw. So I think I was probably a little bit more nervous than I should have been, but I mean, I think that just comes with it and just going into new things. So I think just looking back on it, I was just trying to compete with all of those other great quarterbacks.
When you transferred here, whether it's right or wrong, Georgia fans, regular college football fans, people doubted your ability because they thought that you had to leave to find a place. Whether that's right or wrong, you know, that's a real thing that people say.
Yeah.
Now that you're here through 7 games and you're doing what you're doing, do you feel like you have arrived to the point where you should be in the conversation for best quarterback in the country? Do you mean like you've taken a complete step out of that conversation and proven on the field yet? Is that where you feel you are?
I'm not really worried about that. My main focus is just the team and just winning each and every game. So I'm just going to take it week by week and just kind of go through about that. But all that, like best quarterback in the nation stuff, as long as we win the national championship, I'm fine with that.
Hey, Justin, you talked about coach playing to your strengths. What is your best throw?
What's my best throw?
Yeah.
I think I throw a lot of routes pretty good, but
that's why I asked.
Yeah. As he said earlier, I think that out route, I've practiced that a lot since I was in high school. So I think those are one of my better throws. And I think with Coach Day's coaching, I think he makes it easier on me just with the footwork and especially the receivers. I mean, they definitely make it easy on me. So I think I throw pretty much all the routes pretty good. So,
Justin, you had a 3rd and long against Northwestern. You went to KJ for about 20 yards. How nice is it to have someone so dependable like KJ, and what's impressed you most working with him?
KJ, he's definitely easy to read. His body language, I've worked with him a lot in the summer, in the off season, so I definitely know where he's going to be at all times. So just KJ, he's very smart. I think he's one of the smarter receivers we have, and when it comes to finding those zones and finding those places where the defenders aren't, so he's really good at doing that, and he's really good at route running. So he's just a great
Justin,
all-around receiver.
I'm sorry.
How do you think the process has gone so far through these 7 games of yourself and the offensive line getting the right protections called? You're going against a defense that does a good job of getting pressure on quarterbacks and is one of the better sacking teams. Just how do you think that's going so far, figuring out where the pressure's coming from?
Well, as soon as I got here, Coach Day emphasized the protection, so I worked really hard on that, like right when I got here. So I think the O-line and I are on the same page, and I think we see defense as well, and we see who's coming and who's not. So as long as me and those guys are on the same page, and I know who they're blocking and who I have to account for, I think we should be good going in the future.
How surprised were you that Illinois beat Wisconsin last week, and what did you learn by watching the game film?
It's not that surprising. I mean, we see upsets all the time, but that just shows you that you can't take any team lightly. You just have to go into every game, no matter who you play, and play your best. Because the better you are, you're gonna get the opponent's best shot. Because of course, my bad. But of course, they're gonna want to beat you. So I mean, going into every game, you have to play your best and just go out there and play our game.
It could be a wet day. It could be a wet day on Saturday. How comfortable are you throwing a wet ball? I mean, obviously you can practice for it, but I mean, how does that practice translate into a game situation?
Yeah, we practice wet balls. So every period, Corey will go out there and squirt the ball with water. So we practice with the receivers. They're very comfortable in it, and I think that won't be a problem. So Coach Day talks about like wet balls and stuff like that. Our job is just limit the amount of turnovers and just kind of just play better than their offense. So my job is to beat the quarterback on the other side of the ball and just take care of the ball and kind of just be better than him on that day.
You've done that just this week, or you do that every week, the wet balls?
They look at the weather and see like what the weather's going to be the weekend coming up.
To go back to Wisconsin's pass rush, the fact that it comes out of a 3-4, you guys haven't seen that a whole lot this year. Is that any kind of a different wrinkle that you have to adjust to, the way their edge rushers are?
No, not really. Nah.
Justin, Chris Olave said that you guys feel like the best offense in the country right now. Do you feel like you're there, or do you feel like you've got a ways to prove yourself?
I think we have a lot of room to improve in terms of a lot of areas. So as long as we know what we need to improve on, I feel like we can just continue to get better each and every week, and I feel like the sky's the limit for us.
Justin, when you have a first-time left tackle starting his first career start on the road, was your mental clock sped up at all at the beginning of the game, and then as it went on, did you find yourself getting more comfortable with Nick in the game?
I'm looking back on it, I didn't even realize he was playing, to be honest. So when I see that, I just really just play the game, and then if a guy pops up, you just got to move. But on the sideline, I was kind of trying to give him confidence, and just trying to give him get him going. I think he was a little bit kind of shook at first, but I think he got settled in as the game went on. So
when did you realize he was playing? Like at some point, you had to realize.
Yeah,
oh, that's Nick.
I think there was pressure on the left side, and then we went on the sideline, and Coach Stowe was in his butt pretty good. So so I saw him and just talked to him a little bit, and then I think he settled down after that.
Have you played against a 3-4 before?
Last question right
there.
Pete, thank you.
I mean, the fronts that we've seen that they're not really anything new. So we should be ready for it.
But they mix it up a pretty good bit, don't they, Justin? For what you've seen, I mean, on video, I mean they'll bring an extra guy up, maybe two.
Yeah, they do a lot of things on defense, but the coaches have taught us well. We feel like we have a pretty good feel of what they're going to do, but of course playing new teams, and especially as big of a game this is going to be, they're definitely going to mix in some new things.
You know, I know it's last week too, but you seem to be getting better every week about seeing what's in front of you.
I mean it.
Compared to like week one. You agree? I mean, how much more fluent are you in reading defenses now? Pre-snap and then as it develops.
I feel like just players in general get better. The more they play, they get more experience. So just kind of seeing the defense move and just kind of seeing different defenses and I guess their different schemes kind of helps me a lot, and it's made me more knowledgeable in the game of football. So just learning from that and just learning from the past games and past mistakes I've made has definitely made me a better quarterback.
Great. Justin, thank you so much.
Thanks, Justin.